Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? It's Monday. Nuff said. Seriously, it's just one of those Mondays that I've been having a lot of these Mondays. But anyway, have you ever looked up a word that you knew the definition of and you're just kind of blown away by like the new meaning of the word? I think that happens to a lot of generations, how they use a word, that I'm just like, what does that mean? I'm like, who the heck made this up? This is stupid. But when it gets into the dictionary, it's kind of crazy because growing up, we were always told ain't a word. It was a slang word. It wasn't an actual word in the dictionary. If you have those big red dictionaries, from elementary school, look, it's not in there. And so I had a 5th grade teacher who would challenge us to find words in the dictionary that he couldn't spell. And it was amazing. Like every once in a while we could find one, but very weird. But yeah, but now ain't is a word and it is in the dictionary. Yeah, but okay. So anyway, you're like, where is this going? So if I was going to do a Valentine's soap with a more masculine scent, it would have been this one, the Cowboy Up, because that is a great fragrance. Okay, and I'll tell you why I won't be buying it anymore in the future in the video, but really like this scent, and it was my Cowboy Up scent, and this is the last of my Cowboy Up scent. But when I looked up the meaning of a cowboy, it says a man, typically one on horseback, who herds and tends cattle, especially in the western U.S. and as represented in westerns and novels. Okay. Yeah. The phrase in here is, they are always playing cowboys and Indians. We used to play that as kids. Somehow I was the Indian maiden tied up to the post all the time. Yeah, so I didn't get to play, shoot anybody really. But the informal or British meaning is a person who is reckless or careless, especially when driving an automobile. Okay. That one kind of blew me away. I'm like, what? Informal North American as a verb, work as a cowboy. Okay, I get that. What does calling someone a cowboy mean? One having qualities such as recklessness, aggressiveness, or independence, popularly associated with cowboys. As a reckless driver, a business or business person operating in an uncontrolled or unregulated manner. They just get worse and worse. So if you ask me what the definition of a cowboy is, it is one, somebody who works with animals, someone in rodeos, not animals like a vet, okay? Somebody who is on horseback, works with cattle, on a farm, okay? Or, okay? Cowboy. Somebody, yeah, in rodeos, wrangles cattle. I don't know, just that general sense. But a lot of cowboys I know at least are very soft-hearted. They got the crusty exterior, but they're really soft-hearted. And, just a decent overall person. Those are kind of negative connotations. To me, a cowboy it's a compliment. It's a good thing. So it's really weird how somebody's definition is different than another's, and that's where all these text messages, why you can take the word wrong. Okay, so when my daughter would say, can you can so and so spend the night, and I'm like texting back, sure. She doesn't take it as, sure, he can spend the night, which is how I mean it. She takes it as one of those, snotty kids with the eye roll and sure, that's how she took it. So we were talking about it and I'm like, oh, that's not how I mean it. I'm like yeah, sure. Okay. But anyway, so much for definitions. Yeah, but I don't know. My definition of a cowboy is somebody with integrity and, goes the extra mile, to help people and, you know, hmm, I guess it's just being a good man. Oh, speaking of a good man, I forgot to post that picture and I will post it in this video right before so I don't forget. But anyway, 3 things. Dream big, be true to you. You are worth it. And let's go check out that Cowboy Up soap. And to the soap. Now this is my biggest batch of soap ever. Like ever in my entire life. And so when I went back to review my footage without my notes, I was like, what the heck am I doing? I couldn't figure it out. And then I realized that I had to make this separately. I had to make each color separately in its own container because I didn't have, I didn't have a big enough bowl. If you saw that, really solidify in there, I have a little bit of stearic acid in this recipe, 5%. So that's why, yeah, I forgot about that too until I hit that, and I was like, oh no, this is going to get so thick. But yeah, it didn't. So the first color is titanium dioxide. So 76 ounces of oils means I have a different mold. And I've been looking at this mold for like the last year. It's not actually a mold, and you're gonna, we'll get there. But trying to figure out how to cut it, how to, do all the things with it. And so it's been a long process. And this fragrance oil has been the one that I deemed that I was going to use for it, simply because it's not a discontinued fragrance. It's one that got bumped up to special order, so you have to buy like $500 worth of it in a big drum, which, so that ain't happening on this end of the spectrum. So this will be the last batch for this one, even though it is it is a favorite. It's really sucky. Yeah. I don't know why they do that for us poor little guys. But it's not like I had a crap ton of reviews either, I thought they were literally discontinuing it. But okay, whatever. This next color is Trial by Fire, which is the beautiful red by Nurture Soaps. Sorry, I had to think for a minute. There's too many places. But this gives you that beautiful, just solid red color. Absolutely. You just got to watch your usage rates, but it's a beautiful color. And if you noticed, I was pouring the lye water in there really slow because I didn't want it to chunk up. But 5% stearic shouldn't do that. It shouldn't, but it does. I guess. Because, it does it to the all jacked up too. Yeah, so see, little at a time, so that I don't get this one big chunky monkey mess of my soap. But it came out of it okay, so I'm really glad about that. Okay, and this last color is going to be, but that's a weird color, isn't it? It's going to be black. Black. Activated charcoal all the way. There's no black oxide in here because for some reason I can nail this. This also used to be, so there were a lot of changes with this one. Not only is it bigger, it's not really bigger, it's just a bigger batch. But there is no black oxide, and it's not hot processed. So originally, this was a hot processed soap. Isn't that cool? Yeah, so see, you can bounce back and forth. And really, the only change I did was I lowered the olive and I added some stearic because I just liked the fatty acid profile better that way. And away we went. Yeah. It's got all the additives. It's got the kaolin clay. It's got, beeswax in the oils. It's got, Oh. So the thing was, I think I forgot. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that was the color. I really thought I forgot the coffee in this, but I didn't think about it till later. So then I was like, was there coffee in this? But there was no coffee in this. The original recipe has coffee in the lye water, used because, it's cowboys. What are cowboys? They're up all night. That was a mess. Good grief, slop all over. They drink coffee. Well, my cowboys drink coffee, so, I put it in the soap. Well, this time it didn't get in the soap. Oh, it's that master batching thing. I've been forgetting my stuff. Like in the root beer float bar, I forgot my cream and root beer, literally, in the bar. I forgot there was something else in another bar. And so, yeah, so it's been fun, but I really got to watch when I redo a soap with a master batch that I make sure I do the soap correctly. Yeah, it's a thing. So this was supposed to be a drop swirl, but it's a very fluid drop swirl, as you can see. There was lots of fluidity, no problem whatsoever pouring this in the mold. That is my mold. It is a box mold. My mother gave me this fruit box, and it's just the perfect. Yeah, okay, it's not the perfect size. It's almost the perfect size. It just needs to be just a little tint, like smidge bigger. So if I use the lid, it would be perfect. But it's so damn heavy that I need the bottom part of it, like doubled up. So I can't use the lid. Otherwise, it'd be the perfect mold for this. It wasn't too bad, you guys. And then, of course, then I had to strategically, forget that I was running the hanger swirl through it. But it's okay. It all worked out. But yeah, it was a process to figure out how many oils I needed, how much batter it was going to make. How was I going to cut this? That was one of my bigger problems, was how in the heck am I going to cut this thing? Because if you know me, I don't own a splitter, one of those bar splitters, or what do they call them? Mold splitter. No, there's a word for them. So anyways, after 2 days of thinking, I left this in the mold. After a couple days of thinking and processing, and I came up with this. So the best way to cut the bars with the least amount of waste was to cut it into 3. So they're a little bit more on the taller, skinnier side than on the, like my other mold is like, fat and short. These are tall and skinny, but dang near, not quite the same ounces, but that was always a solid box. Let me tell you, it was heavy. And when I took it out of the oven, because it got C-popped and gelled that day, the next day when I pulled it out of the oven, it was still freaking warm, you guys. The box was still warm. So I left it still wrapped up in its blanket, and I left it there on the table in the sunshine for another day. It had all the heat, which probably in reality really helped out my activated charcoal. Yeah. And yeah, I had to make sure that was lined up, or because I hit that back edge of the mold and then it wouldn't want to cut. But I got one cut and I was like, oh, great, this will work. Because how do you cut a straight line down a mold or down a soap bar if you don't have a straight line? And it was a thing. It was a process. Yeah, that was the bottom. That was the top. That was the side. I don't know. People always show you their soap when they cut it. Is it just called a splitter? I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I really am lazy today. So this one, again, same thing. Just lining up my edges with the mold on the bottom too, because that's my base. And taking my wire cutter and splitting it down. I'd love a splitter, but I mean, how often am I going to make a batch this size? Probably not at this point. But I had lots of fun with it, just doing all the mathematics and the, how many bars can I get? I can get 10 bars out of each row. I think I have a little end piece. One of them had a decent end piece. I don't know why. Probably because wasn't sure where it was going. But you can see this is an edge piece. There wasn't a whole lot of white to it. And then I think I put my wire on my cutter wrong that day. Well, I had changed it. I can't remember which soap it was I broke it on. But it was giving me fits ever since. Like it didn't want to. It didn't want to cut. It was like loosening up every time. But yeah, so those top pieces that would be on top to the side, they, you can see there's not a lot of white in them. So the white didn't get really dispersed that great on that side. And then there's my little end piece to the side there. Now, the second one to be cut, I think, is the middle one. Yes, that is the middle one. And it is just a smidge smaller than the other two, which was funny because I think I measured this like 4 or 5 times, and then and I'm sure it was just because of the way I was cutting it. It wasn't laid flat and run across, a wire, and, it was all a process. But these, as you can see, being in the middle, have a lot more definition and swirls and white and, all the colors to them. Not that the other ones didn't, but it was just crazy. And then as I get to the end, I think that one side has just less white and more of the black and the red. And here is the last loaf. This was also an edge. You can see more of the dark swirls. I thought this was an edge. Maybe this is the middle. No. That one, I swear that one was before this. Because I thought my edges ended up being bigger than the middle. Yeah, this is an edge. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. These were kind of pretty. The swirls turned out really well on these for the most part. I thought these were probably my favorite loaf. And it could have been just because of the way I did the swirls. I don't know, did I come back, with the hanger? Hangers are fun, they really are. If you don't have one, you can use a spoon. You can use, but I mean, really, my hanger is literally a hanger with its plastic coated, That's all it is. You could use almost anything, seriously, just to run through there. I mean, if you don't, you can use a spoon and do a swirl. You just kind of scoop it and swirl the spoon through it. Be creative. Think of there's so much stuff you could do with soap nowadays. It's crazy. Yeah, but these will probably be the last of my Cowboy Up with this scent because I'm sorry, I'm not. I am small business. I cannot afford a huge drum of just one scent. The fragrance notes for this one this is what they are, but they do not smell like that. To me, they smell like the old Stetson cologne. Similar. That's what they smell like to me. This is the soap right after I cut it. I got a lot of titanium dioxide coming out of that thing. And of course, once it is cured. So the yellow that it's supposed to discolor to did not come through that titanium dioxide, which is great. But I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.